Hey guys, and welcome to the Fish Room. I'm Rachel O'Leary and it's time for a Tuesday tip. And I'm sure you've already gathered from the title what we're doing today. And you're probably also asking yourself, what food could possibly be appropriate for both my gars and the smallest fish in my fish room, which right now are probably chili rasboras. And the answer is freeze-dried krill. Now it is rather large, but it's also very easy to break up into finer particles to feed the littler guys. Now there's a few things I like about krill. One is that there's not any additives. Two, it has astaxanthin, which is a natural color enhancer from the carotenoids in the shell of the krill. So it can be really, really good for getting your fish to color up. It's also pretty high in fat, which for wild fish especially is really beneficial upon import. Now on that note, you guys know I got an order last weekend, half of which didn't come in, but that's a story for another day. So one of the most important things when I get in new wild fish is to make sure that they're really eating well, that they're putting on weight, and that their immunity is really boosted. So I really like to use either krill or live foods in the first week to help them out. Now it's important to note that krill is not a sole diet for any fish that I keep, but it is an excellent part of the full puzzle of what I feed. So let's get started and I'll show you how the fish take to it. So this is what the freeze-dried krill looks like. You can see it's pretty large. We'll start by giving some to Captain Crankypants. Now he is in a mood, so hopefully he doesn't get my fingers. But I just throw a handful in there. You can see the catfish on the bottom is going around looking for it. You can see Captain really likes it. Next we'll come over to the head and tail light tetras. And for these guys I take just a small amount, like this, and I simply crumple it up until it is granulated, and then drop it in, and you can see the results. Look at the ripple on the water surface from these guys going crazy. And again, this isn't something I feed them all the time, but it's definitely something they enjoy. And with it being freeze-dried like this, it sits at the surface for a minute before it starts falling down through the water column. And the fish really go crazy. And it's just a good way for me to get some weight onto the fish. Now we'll feed the rams, Sid Loaches, and rummy nose. And again, I do the same thing. Crumple it up, drop it at the surface. And the rummies and rams will eat it more towards the top, and as it falls to the bottom, the loaches will go crazy. See, everybody smells it in the water immediately. Next we'll feed the green neons. And again, same thing, just crumple it at the water surface. Everybody goes nuts. This is especially good for this kind of fish because it helps bring out their color. You can see these guys are really colorful. Now these are Bumblebee gobies, and they're new in the fish room, so they're one that's really important for me to get some good food into. And these guys are known to have a bit of a prey drive, so I'm curious to see how this krill does for them and if they take to it readily. Now I did get them eating dried foods yesterday, but again, I'd really like to make sure some weight is getting put on them and that they're eating really well. You can see immediately fish start darting around to eat the krill. And pretty soon they'll all get really excited and just go crazy for it. That's what I'm hoping, at least. That little darting motion is them snapping up the krill. as it slowly sinks through the water. These guys are so stinking cute. They're definitely eating it, so that's good news. Here I've dropped it in with the dwarf frogs, and you can see they go right up to the surface and snap right at it. It's a really good choice for them, especially if you break it down into little pieces. There's also SB Resboras in this aquarium that you can see are taking to it really readily. Now these guys do not want to be left out, and this is one of their favorite foods. And I drop handfuls of this in there for them. You can see the Polly smells it right away. Everybody goes crazy for this food. Now it starts out floating, which is great for the gars, and then slowly sinks, which is better for the pollies. So the pollies don't often wait for it to go down to the bottom to start eating. Now usually what I do with this food is drop in way less than I think they'll eat. And if they get it all really quickly, then I add more. These guys are big eaters, but I still don't want to pollute the water in their aquarium. Fun fish to feed though. See, that little Cuban is a really aggressive feeder. They are really going to town. This is a great treat for these guys. And as you guys know, I also feed them a lot of pellets and occasionally shrimp chopped up or other whitefish fillets. But this is a really easy way for me to feed them and make them super happy. They're eating really well. You can see they're already starting to color up. Again, the natural carotenoids in krill is great for fish, especially fish that have reds in them. And their bellies look nice and round, so this is fantastic. Also, normally during this time I would be shooting some photographs so I can do some close-up inspection of the fish's condition. Let's feed the Shellys. Now these guys love this stuff. They go absolutely bonkers, actually feeding all the way up at the water surface, which is not something Shellys always do. You can see even the trout or the sardine cichlids are out and about. And even the larger chunks, these fish with their teeth can whittle away at. Now it is important to note that some krill can have sharp tails. So it's especially important when you're grinding it for these little fishes that you do a thorough job. I'm going to feed the pencils, endlers, and apistos in this aquarium. And then we'll move to the hill stream tank. Everybody comes up to eat. Now you may be thinking to yourself, why in the world would I feed a tank that has grazers in it a food that is, you know, a shrimp, a shellfish? And that's because a lot of the grazers are off-flux grazers, and that means that they graze on the algae that grows on rocks and areas of flow, and often in that algae microcrustaceans are captured and they eat as well. So it's nice to be able to give them a bit more protein every once in a while. And this will get caught in all the different decor that those grazers graze on, and they will naturally eat it. It's also good for the couple of predators that are in this aquarium, the Rhinogobius specifically. But you can see the response that the fish give. Here we can see one of the Soelias grazing on the krill that's gotten captured on that rock, as well as a Rhinogobius who is in heaven right now with this meaty diet. As you can see, everything really likes this food. And again, just to recap, I don't use it as a staple. It's not something I feed every day to every fish. But it is a pretty important part of my arsenal, especially with fish that are in quarantine or my larger, more predatory fish. I hope that helps. Let me know below if you would like to see a gel food demonstration. And I also have been thinking about doing a tips for photography type video. So let me know below what you guys think. As always, thanks for your support. Make sure you stop by my Instagram, my Facebook, and my website to see my upcoming speaking engagements, my current stock list, and information on all things nano. I also want to mention that I'll be going on to Dustin's Fish Tanks channel on Thursday at 2 for a live stream if anyone wants to tune in.